My name is Hendry Kaputra. My student number is 291251886. I am the student at SBM ITB for Blemba 73 in Middle East. Today I will explain about the game theory case Qatar telecommunication between Ooredoo and Vodafone. Qatar telecom market, there are two big companies available in Qatar for telecommunication. First thing is Ooredoo. The original brand name is Qatar Telecom. It introduced for GSM in 1994, after it expanded and rebranded as Ooredoo in 2013. Later on, Vodafone joined Qatar and get licensed in 2007, backed by their principal Britain, Vodafone Group, and they are starting do the services in 2009 and expanded digital offering and become a public company. I will show to you about the Qatar Telecom market. The market size for Qatar Telecom is 7.3 billion US dollar. It's huge money, and approximately it will be annual growth about 2.8% per year. About the SIM penetration, the SIM penetration is 170%. So it's like it's saturated. So what is the meaning of this number? Meaning one person maybe have more than one or two SIM number. And about 5G coverage, it's about 96% coverage entire of Qatar. So it's a huge percentage of coverage for 5G in Qatar. I want to more detail about each company of the competitor. Market share for Ooredoo on the left side, about 65 to 70%, and they have revenue 7.3 billion Qatarial or $2 billion. Average revenue per user is about $28.3, which is the highest in the Middle East. They have 3 million customers and they are the first 5G implementation in the world. Vodafone Qatar, they have market share 30 to 35%. The revenue is 3.2 billion Qatarial or 0.9 billion US dollar. The average revenue per user is about 19.8 US dollar, which is the fourth biggest in the Middle East. They have 2.1 million customers and they have a partner with Nokia for a 5G partner. Why this conflict matters between Ooredoo and Vodafone? First thing is they are tightly regulated duopoly. Only two operators in entire market of the Qatar. So it's very hard to enter the barrier because of regulatory and the huge capital cost is required. So every strategic move will be directly impact to the rival because only these two companies are available in Qatar. Second is about 5G investment race. Both operator investing billions in 5G networks, enterprise solution and IoT, classical embrace dynamics. Saturated consumer market, 170 SIM penetration mean growth must come from stealing share or increasing revenue per user, not new subscriber. Regulatory oversight, Communication Regulatory Authority, CRA, they monitor the transparency and the quality of the service, but doesn't mean that it will eliminate strategic competition. Now, I want to set up the game of the theory for 5G pricing presentation. About the player, there are two players here, Ooredoo Qatar and Vodafone Qatar. There are strategic choice on this game theory. First thing is whether they will choose premium pricing for their 5Gs or they will choose aggressive, which is they will discount or reduce their pricing for 5G's services. In this context, both operators have invested heavily in 5G's technology. The question is whether to maintain high margin or premium or they undercut the rival by reduce the price to gain market share. In terms of interterm, it depends. Each firm profit depends on both its own pricing and the rival pricing decision, the hallmark of the oligopoly. Information. Simultaneously, decision neither knows the other choice in advance. This is one of the static game. This mirrors the classic prisoner dilemma. Both firm would be better off keeping premium price, but each has individual incentive to undercut defect. Before I illustrate live about the game theory of metrics, I just want to explain about how payoff are determined. The scenario for both them doing premium. What the impact to Ooredoo? Ooredoo will have high margin, stable share. Vodafone will have high margin and stable share. So the outcome will be cooperative optimum. Ooredoo premium, Vodafone aggressive. So the Ooredoo impact is they will lose subscriber to Vodafone, high margin and fewer user. And what about Vodafone? They gain share, lower margin but more volume. So Vodafone gain at the Ooredoo expense. In reverse, in this scenario is Ooredoo aggressive, Vodafone premium. So what happened to Ooredoo? Ooredoo will gain share, lower margin but more volume. But Vodafone loses subscriber to Ooredoo, high margin and fewer user. And Ooredoo gain at the Vodafone expense. And the last scenario, they both do aggressive. What happened to Ooredoo? They will have low margin, share unchanged, and low margin for Vodafone and share unchanged. So they both lose because of this both aggressive strategy. Let me now show to you how the matrix will work. I will drawing to you about how the matrix for this game theory will work. Previously I explained to you about this matrix. So let's see, this is the matrix itself. So assume this is for Vodafone and this is Ooredoo Qatar. Assume they will do premium here. This is premium price, and they will do aggressive, and this will be aggressive for Vodafone. And this will be aggressive. So what is the impact of if both of them do premium and both of them doing aggressive, or one of them doing premium and the other aggressive, and what is the impact? This is the what happened if this is happen. So as I draft previously, this is the Vodafone. This Vodafone and this is Ooredoo Qatar. So if premium price for strategic for Ooredoo Qatar and Vodafone do premium price, so I estimate for Ooredoo they will have revenue about 2.4 billion Qatarial, and Vodafone itself he will get 900 million Qatarial. So but what happened if Ooredoo do aggressive price but Vodafone keep the premium price strategy for 5G implementation? I assume that the Ooredoo will get $2.8 billion but Vodafone will losing the revenue, and so the revenue will be reduced about 400 million Qatar riyal. And the same thing happened for the aggressive doing by Vodafone, but premium will be done by Ooredoo. What happened? The premium, because of the premium price, Vodafone will increase the revenue because they did aggressive, but for Vodafone, they will lose Vodafone or Ooredoo will lose the revenue. The same thing, if both of them do aggressive, both of them will be lost their revenue between either Ooredoo and Qatar will lose the revenue. This is what they call it Nash equilibrium. So I will explain to you how I determine the payoff value for each metric I showed to you earlier. So for both premium, I mean between Ooredoo and Qatar, I assume because of the Ooredoo maintains 65% with high average revenue per person, or 28.3. So I assume this is about 33% profit margin. So that's the reason I assume they will get profit 2.4 billion. And the other hand, for Vodafone, at 3.2 billion revenue with 28 margin yield, so they will get 0.9 billion Qatar riyal. So both benefit from stable and high margin operations. What about if one do aggression and the other do premium? The aggressive price captures subscribers from the premium price level. So I assume because of let's say Ooredoo will do aggressive things, they will get additional 5 share market. So they will earning additional 4 million Qatar riyal because of Ooredoo do aggressive. However, and so the Vodafone will drop the revenue, which is before is 0.9 billion, now to be 0.5 only. And the other hand, if Vodafone do undercut or doing aggressive things, it will increase the share of Vodafone from 0.9, it will be increased to 1.1 billion, while Ooredoo will be fall to 1.6 billion. However, if both them do aggressive strategy, meaning Ooredoo will be aggressive and reduce the cost, and the other do the same thing, so it's like a price war. So both of them will reduce their revenue. Ooredoo will reduce the revenue to be 1.8 billion, and Vodafone, it reduced the revenue to 650 million Qatar riyal. So I will try to do dominant strategy analysis between Ooredoo and Vodafone. First things I want to see from the Ooredoo perspective. Later on I will see it from Vodafone perspective. From Ooredoo perspective, if Vodafone choose premium, Ooredoo premium, they will get 2.4 billion, but Ooredoo do aggressive, they will get 2.8. So if you see here, in terms of Vodafone choose premium, the aggressive strategy for Ooredoo is the better. What about the Vodafone choose aggressive? If Ooredoo premium, they will get 1.8 billion. However, if Ooredoo do aggressive, Ooredoo will get 1.8. So meaning if Vodafone keep aggressive and Ooredoo aggressive, it's better for Ooredoo. So based on this data, I can assume that the dominant strategy is aggressive. Now we change to Vodafone perspective. If Ooredoo choose premium, Vodafone premium will be 900 million Qatar riyal, and Vodafone will increase the revenue to be 1.1 billion. So it's better for Vodafone to aggressive while Ooredoo choose the premium. What about if Ooredoo choose aggressive? Vodafone Premium will get 500 million and Vodafone Aggressive will get 650 million. So meaning if Ooredoo choose aggressive, if they choose aggressive, it's better for Vodafone. So based on this data, I will get the dominant strategy for Vodafone perspective is aggressive. So based on these two perspectives, but both of them, the dominant strategy is to choose aggressive pricing, regardless Ooredoo or Vodafone do it. Now I want to explain Nash equilibrium and Pareto optimality. If you see from Nash equilibrium, both do aggressive, so it will the revenue will both of them will get 1.8 billion for Ooredoo, and for Vodafone we will get 650 million Qatar riyal. So neither firm, either not Qatar, not Ooredoo or Vodafone, will improve its payoff by unilaterally by changing strategy. So if Ooredoo switch to premium, profit drops from 1.8 to 1.6. If Vodafone switch to premium, profit drop from 650 to 500 million. This is Pareto optimal? The answer is no. The Nash equilibrium is not Pareto optimal in this case. Both premium 2.4 for Ooredoo and 900 million for Vodafone make both firms better off. Total industry profit jumped from 2.4 to 3.3 billion. The Nash outcome leave 850 of value on the table. So if you can see here, the Nash, it come to a bigger value for both of them. Transaction will come with like 2.4 billion, and when the Pareto it happened is 2.4 and 900, so it's like 3.1. So based on this, you can see that the difference is like 850 million value is destroyed by the wars because of the price wars equilibrium. So how can both firms escape this price war, which is not good for both of them? First, I recommend strategic. First is repeating games dynamics. The Qatar duopoly is not a one-shot game. They will do repeating by month and by year. So both firms can use tit-for-tat strategies, maintain premium pricing, and retaliate only if the rival do undercut. They sustain cooperation over time. Product differentiation. Instead of competing on price alone, differentiate, Ooredoo focus on the enterprise 5G and IoT solution. Vodafone targets digital live streaming, fintech, and via IP. Different strategy reduce direct price competition. Regulatory framework as commitment. Communication regulatory authority tariff transparency rules act as coordination mechanism by supporting regulatory pricing floor for premium services. Both firms can commit to not undercutting, reducing the temptation to defect the other party. And last, I recommend focus on average revenue per user, not volume. With 170 SIM penetration, which is saturated market, the game should shift from subscriber acquisition to revenue per user. And now I want to give recommendations specific for each company. For Ooredoo Qatar, leverage market leader position, as in this case in the Qatar. So I recommend maintain premium pricing as the price leader. Second, they can do double down on the enterprise 5G private network for oil and gas logistics at Hamad Port and Qatar Smart City project. Use Ericsson partnership for network slicing to create premium business-to-business deals that Vodafone cannot easily match. Bundle Ooredoo Money, digital wallet, plus home fiber and 5G to raise switching costs. For Vodafone, I recommend differentiation of the strategy. because it's good for Vodafone don't compete on the price against 65% market leader. Differentiate on digital experience. Leverage Nokia partnership for 5G Advance to 10 Gbps trials to target tech-savvy youth and expatriate segment. Expand iPay digital wallet and fintech services like cross-border remittance for Qatar large expatriate. And last is maybe we can do the SIM technology by using eSIMs ecosystem for tourist and business visitor. From what I said before, I can summary from the theory to the practice. The duopoly trap. Qatar Telecom market perfectly illustrates the prisoner dilemma. Rational individual decision lead to collectively suboptimal outcome. Second, NASH doesn't mean optimal. NASH equilibrium